Hello everyone, welcome to No Drama Just Movies, penny for my thoughts. After all the drama concerning the fall of the DCEU, a Snyder cut that failed to draw audiences, a new head of DC, all the buzz, all the hype and all the anticipation, we are finally here. James Gunn's Superman releases next week. I feel privileged to have lived in the comic book movie boom. The golden age, if you will, and I remember the feeling of certain movies in the genre releasing that felt larger than life. Movies you couldn't wait to see and be seated for. They had an aura around them that you couldn't just replicate with any other standard movie. Movies like Infinity War, Endgame, Batman v Superman even. Superman has joined that list and it needed to. This is the beginning of a new universe, the beginning of a new journey for Warner Brothers and DC, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Superman cannot fail. But what happens if it does? Superman failing doesn't just mean potentially the beginning of the end for the new DCU, but it also signals a larger loss, a darker loss, the loss that fans of the Western know very well, that being the end of the genre as a whole. Now, when I say end, it doesn't mean that superhero movies won't keep getting made, that they won't even be successful. But with Marvel struggling and Sony being a Spider-Man only studio, if the DCU fails, then you pretty much have only one soldier left on the field. And with what we've seen so far from Marvel and their dwindling audience satisfaction, do we truly have faith that Marvel alone can restore us to the glory period of the mid-2010s, even though they were the ones who carried it? The field benefits from when everyone is doing well. One comic book movie succeeding is beneficial for the entire genre as a whole. The more duds across the field, the worse our future looks in the genre, because as the audience begins to lack interest, a lack of interest means a lack of new movies and new risks, both of which we are seeing currently. Now, if Superman fails to draw a high box office number and also struggles with critics, does that mean the DCU comes to an end immediately? No, it doesn't. But then who will turn up for Supergirl? Who will turn up for Clayface? Will a DCU Batman ever actually see the light of day? And if people don't turn up, then we will find ourselves in familiar territory. From all accounts, early reactions to screenings and even box office tracking, Superman is on track to be a success, but we've seen this before. We've been in a position where a movie looks like it will do well only to do the complete opposite. Just look at The Flash. I don't want the genre to die. I don't even want it to regress. I want it to go back to the glory days. I want us to feel excited again, to feel like the comic book movie genre is the best in the world at making us feel excited, and I feel it is possible. I am excited for Superman. I'm excited for Fantastic Four, but if one of them does poorly, unfortunately now in 2025, it has more ramifications for the genre than ever before. Will we be able to sit here in 5 to 10 years and say that we're back, or will this be it? Will we look back in 50 years and say we lived through the boom and it was never to return? I hope for the former, and Superman and the DCU must succeed in order to give us a chance. Lastly, I want to end on one man, and his name is Henry Cavill. He didn't ask for this, but he has now become the poster child of the toxic online movie superhero space and is still heavily on people's minds. Man of Steel is one of my favourite comic book movies of all time. I love that movie. I feel it is widely underrated and I get chills anytime I watch it, but even as a Man of Steel fan and Henry Cavill fanboy, I have to say this. We must let go. We must let our toxic obsession with it and its comparisons to the new Superman die. The Snyderverse is over. Henry Cavill's Superman is over. There will never be a Man of Steel 2. We can look fondly on that period. We can still rewatch Man of Steel and love it, but we must let our toxic obsession with it go in order for the future of Superman and the DCU to thrive. Remember Batman vs Superman? Remember both Justice League movies? Zack Snyder's vision was there for us to see and it failed. There was never a guarantee or metric that gave us an indication that more movies would have changed that. The same is true for the Christopher McQuarrie Superman movie and whatever The Rock was trying to do. The writing was unfortunately on the wall, even if a small but very vocal and passionate minority wanted to see more. The new Superman is here, and Henry Cavill walked so David Corenswet could run, in the same way that Christopher Reeves laid the groundwork before them. Henry Cavill and Man of Steel will always be in our hearts, but we must help this Superman to soar. What did Jor-El say in Man of Steel? You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun, Cal. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders. We must help this Superman to soar. The future of the genre depends on it. Once again, this has been No Drama, Just Movies, and this is Penny for my thoughts.